Hello and welcome. We are with Rohit, founder of R Square. Rohit, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
How exciting has the Mumbai Social Media Week been?
Very exciting actually, because when we looked at the previous editions which happened in September 2013 in Bombay, and then the next edition in Bangalore in Feb, so we were really excited to come back to Bombay and make a much bigger festival than what we have done in the previous edition in Bombay. So I can say it's a great journey what we have seen over the period of last 1 year.
In terms of numbers, where do you see?
We are rocking. We are the most talked hashtag among all the 11 cities. So 40% of the conversation which is happening right now on Twitter among all 11 cities, we are the leaders. So 40% is happening on SMW Mumbai. So that's like huge.
Okay, has the candidate profile changed compared to the previous few social media weeks?
I would say the profile has slightly got changed. I feel that it is more serious audience. People who are really bothered are there. So we also have changed our focus. Rather than just looking at the numbers, we are more bothered about having a right kind of people. So I think more serious people who are really bothered are here.
Okay, you've licensed this property for a period of 3 years.
Yes.
How at an acceptability level, how have things changed compared to say last year?
Yeah, so September 2013, that's the first edition of Social Media Week Mumbai happened,
Right.
and we started working on it from last or before that 4 months in advance. And the biggest issue was the crowdsourcing part of it, because the philosophy of crowdsourcing was not that well known in India. So when you go back and say that the event is completely being crowdsourced, that means we will have partners, and that's how the content is going to be curated. Speakers will come on board. People actually could not digest it, because normally when you have these kind of festivals or events happening, the organization will actually decide what kind of content is going to go. Wherein here the philosophy is completely different. So September, if I recall right, till August, we were actually not clear what is going to happen, because the content was not ready. And by end of August, everything was ready. So that was kind of a difficult scenario. But this time, most of the partners, sponsors figured out, okay, this event happens in this way, and they were at a comfort level, so which was pretty nice.
From an organization point of view, how difficult was it or how easy was it to organize something of this scale?
Scale is huge, 5 days, and the content is only not for one specific audience, versus it is for multiple different audiences. So talk about startup, we had a startup hub running here, and we had Pioneer hub, which is basically for advertising and marketing audience. Then we had the social and community stage, and we had a learning stage. So I'll say that, see, the content curation is the most important thing, and that takes a lot of time. So that has been the main focus area. Production is one part of it, but content is the important thing, which has taken actually a lot of time.
So what are the learnings from the social media week in Mumbai?
I was just discussing with few people to figure out what we should be doing it. So we were actually thinking is that how can we make it more interesting? How can we make it more engaging? So can we do something rather than just having a talks happening or debate or panels happening? How can we involve it? Like yesterday we did speed blocking, and actually that also got trended. So that kind of more and more sessions will happen. Learning master classes, people have really appreciated, and these are focused. These learning and master classes were not for 100 people, but in every session you will have 15-20 people who are really serious and who really want to learn it. So these are the two things which we see really working.
With your interactions here, how excited do you think corporate India is to be more social?
I would say that today corporate have realized the power of social media. We had a panel today, and even I was part of that, and we were not talking about social media from a marketing angle. We were actually talking from an organization angle. Talk about HR, talk about product designing, talk about services. Social actually plays a big role. So that is what is actually coming out right now. So look at, for example, Mahindra. Mr. Anand Mahindra, he has been all over Twitter. And he actually, so his team is every time monitoring if any comment goes on, either about service, about the vehicle, it's being responded. So if you look at the whole philosophy has got changed. Today it's not a marketing function as such, but the CEO has become more of a brand manager, and he's playing that role. In that, social plays a big, huge role.
A lot of the marketers who were actually attending the social media week said that listening is the next big thing as far as social media is concerned, because that would help them to devise their strategies better.
Yes.
Would you agree with that view or disagree, and why?
See, in any media, either as a social or a traditional media, doing analysis is a critical thing.
Right.
Traditional media, we always have that struggle. obviously we had other tools talk about TRPs and all those things. In social, you can measure anything and everything. So listening is critical, because that helps you just not about devising your marketing campaign, but it's actually basically devising what is going to happen next big. So you know what people are looking for, you know what people are talking about, what sentiments are there for the brand, what is the polarity about the brand.
Right.
So these are the factors which you need. So current base we know is around 200 million internet base in India, and say 100 plus million are on social. But just think 3 years down the line what is going to happen when you see out of 1.2 billion people you have 500, 600 internet connections, and you see 400 odd million people on the social. Then you cannot just ignore. You have to be focused here, and the data which you get it helps you in everything. It's just not about marketing. It's the brand pull which you are able to build it, because these are your audiences, these are your customers or consumers who are talking to you. So it is no more about it's not even about the dialogue, or it's not even about a conversation today. It's a multi-dimensional dialogue which is happening it, because it's no more about what brand wants to talk about the brand. It's about you and me, what we want to talk about the brand. So that's what is happening in social.
Okay, you know, from a budget point of view, social media still accounts for about 1 to 5% of the marketing budget of most corporations, and you know, the average amount corporations spend on social media is about 10 million Indian rupees. Is that too little? Do you see that growing?
It is. So if you look at right now, if my data is right, digital spend has taken over outdoor spend.
Okay.
Which is big. Number one. Number two is that as of now, if you look at the spend is actually going up every year.
Okay.
It will go up only. It will not come down. So you need to look at it as a very holistic approach. It's just not about that how much money am I investing as a media, but you look at from a perspective of that how am I managing this. So there is a lot of spend which goes into that, also investment which goes into it. Almost all the bigger organizations have got their own dashboards, they have their own command centers. So there is a huge investment which goes into it, because they know the power of this media and they cannot ignore it. So I see a huge spend going to happen in social and digital.
Okay, what's the craziest thing you've done on social media?
What is the craziest thing which I have done on social media? Very frankly, I got irritated once and I tweeted, and I really thought that I should have not done it, because unnecessarily I'm actually somewhere troubling somebody or his business. So I later realized that I should have not done it, just because I was irritated and I tweeted, and I know that there's going to be a response coming back to me, which came, and I said, I'm sorry, I was maybe not in a right frame of mind, so I need to behave myself. So that's what I can say.
Okay, and finally, what will next year's social media week look like?
So Feb is happening, Feb 2015. If I'm not wrong, the dates are Feb 23rd. We start off. So we will have a new theme. We will be doing a reprogramming. We will be taking a feedback from our audiences, partners, speakers, sponsors, everybody. And basis that, we will look at developing a model by which a lot of engagement is happening, and then people are able to take out a lot of inputs from social media week. So we just don't want it to be a platform wherein people come do a networking, but it has to go beyond that. Networking is just part of it. So about learning is a critical thing which we are going to focus on.
All right, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.